Welcome back. Former police officer and SLP candidate for Micoud North, Jeremiah Norbert, is calling for a holistic approach to curbing violent crime among youth in St. Lucia. Speaking at a recent SLP virtual public meeting, Norbert said that the SLP understood that crime was very complex and therefore it would utilize a multi-sectoral approach to fighting crime that would also involve working with young people.
The Lucia Labour Party knows that dealing with crime is not an easy task. We understand that crime is very complex and it comprises of both social and psychological circumstances. Hence, the St. Lucia Labour Party plans to tackle crime using a multi-sectoral approach. For too long, we have been living in a situation of social disorganization. The St. Lucia Labour Party will see to it that there is greater linkage and synergy between the probation department, the police, the schools, human services, and other relevant agencies. This type of synergy would allow us to implement preventative policies that meet and safeguard the varying needs of young persons. And we will ensure that young people are at the center of this, for we believe that youth intervention should be youth-led. We have to work with our young people and not just for them.
That was SLP Micoud North candidate Jeremiah Norbert. Should the United Workers' Party win the Castries East seat, a focus on sports development is promised to be at the top of the priority list. So says UWP's Castries East candidate Fortuna Belrose as she joined Castries South East MP Guy Joseph on his Monday night program to persuade constituents to embrace the UWP's vision for Castries East.
Castries East hopeful Senator Fortuna Belrose is not letting her infamous comments prevent her from garnering support from constituents to lead her to victory in the upcoming general elections. Belrose shared with the public her plans for the constituency if she is successful at the polls. A prime focus was on the development of sports within the constituency.
We know as youngsters in that community that it was a sporting capital of the country. Everything. You know, sporting and even entertainment towards the latter years. Everything. Yes, everything. And so the focus for us coming in is to ensure that we regain that status, you know, of putting Castries East in the limelight when it comes to our sports development and our program for entrepreneurs with respect to the entertainment side of things. And then, of course, with respect to the sporting facilities, we want to transform that. You would have seen the work that our government has done across the country. When you look at Soufrière, the transformation of that ground, you look at Micoud and the work that's happening there, you look at Deriso, all of these facilities are part of a package that the government is presenting to the country. And of course, in the case of Castries East, that's no exception. We are coming in that area to reconstruct the entire area between the boulevard and of course the Marshall School to ensure that we provide world-class facilities for sports and entertainment for the people of that constituency.
The Castries Southeast constituency has been represented by the SLP's Philip J. Pierce since 1997. Belrose said the first challenge that she will have to face if elected by the people is to get them to buy into a UWP philosophy.
One of the first things we said that we would do in Castries East, and you would have heard the Prime Minister articulate that, and I know there are other constituencies in Castries, for example, Castries North and Castries South, that have also articulated the need to have their own council. Right. Because you need a structure, you understand, to really work through. And so when you have the council existing within the constituency, it makes it easy to engage your people in a structured way, and also to get them to buy into what it is that is happening on the ground, and also hear them in terms of what it is that they would like to see happen. I think government is there to set up the broad policy, so we know clearly what it is that we want our new St. Lucia to look like. But the input of the people to really customize it, you know, to the various communities is what is needed.
She said the people of Castries East have been deprived for far too long.
What I sense as I go around and as I engage them in the constituency office, you get a sense that there is a lack of knowledge of the various systems and processes in government. And I think if we have the council, we can help solve that problem. I think that people need to have a place where they can go and get some basic services within government. And of course, I think council too can assist in providing that. So to my mind, the people have been disenfranchised with respect to those types of services. And it's our responsibility as a government, if we're looking to ensure that people are taken care of and catered for adequately, we need to be able to do that for them.
Belrose claims that after 25 years of representing the people of Castries East, Philip J. Pierre has failed constituents immensely. For the Hot 7 News, Nisha Charles reporting.
Local fishermen are reacting to the news that one of their Jamaican counterparts lost his life in a shark attack whilst on the waters. The two men give a word of caution to their fellow fisherfolk and implore them to be careful whilst working above the deep blue sea.
On Monday, the island's Deputy Chief Fisheries Officer Thomas Nelson sent out a warning message to fisherfolk and sea bathers to practice caution at the beaches and open sea waters due to the presence of sharks and the potential for shark attacks that could prove to be fatal. This warning came after a fisherman in Jamaica succumbed to injuries sustained in a shark attack where his arm was ripped off. Hot 7 TV paid a visit to local fishermen to hear of their experiences on the sea waters. One fisherman said shark sightings are common and that they are somewhat of a nuisance.
Seeing sharks is not something unusual to us. That's something we always see. The sharks holding the fish pots. Whilst we're pulling it up, they tearing the fish pot apart to eat the fish from it. So that's not something, and it's not like we're seeing more and more, we're seeing more sharks. We're seeing the same amount of sharks. So I don't know if what happened in Jamaica, if it will happen here, but so far the same amount of sharks we've seen all the time. We went outside there and we saw the shark tearing my friend's pot, and he has two pots, and that's something they always mashing up the man pots. I don't know where we set the pot there. They have a lot of fish, that's why the shark tearing the pot apart.
Meanwhile, another fisherman, Silverius Arthur, warned that sharks are not to be toyed with.
Even in the Castries Harbour, one time had a tiger shark. Every time we used to see it appearing, it even appeared by the concrete shed once, and the fellas had things pelting behind it to run it out. And it disappeared, so it must have gone outside the harbour, found its way out. Sharks down in St. Lucia, I will not say they are not dangerous. But from Jamaica area going up to the States, people play games with shark. They take them to be like pets. A shark is not friendly. From the time you get a scratch and they take the smell of blood, it's going to attack. And I do believe, as I told somebody, that the shark who attacked that gentleman must have found some spot where that gentleman had some scratch.
Arthur also warned about the use of skincare products. He said this too could cause shark attacks.
A lot of people rub things on their skin, certain ointments on their skin, and these ointments also attract sharks. I can give you an incident that happened at the time of the reign of Cunard Lato Hotel. There was a set of Jews who came down there and they was having the feast of the Passover right there at Cunard Lato Hotel. And those guys rubbed their skin with that sun tone thing. And that sun tone thing, some of them has some attraction smell for shark. And that shark attacked one of them guys in the water. That time the jetty was properly, a proper jetty they had there. It did not get dismantled by the hurricane that had passed and mashed it down.
Arthur warned against bathing with dogs as well, as he said there have been noted sightings whenever dogs are in the water. Reporting for Hot 7 News, I am Rochelle Gonzalez.
The Royal St. Lucia Police Force is mourning the passing of a member of its Community Relations branch. In a statement on Wednesday, the RSLPF wrote, "Today is a sad day for the staff of the Community Relations branch and members of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force as we mourn the passing of Rawson Antoine, SPC 117. Rawson was described as a very committed and dedicated police officer who embodied the spirit of community policing."
On behalf of the Police Welfare Association and every other member of the police organization, we want to take that time to extend our sincere condolences to the family and friends of Special Police Constable number 117, Rawson Antoine, who passed away this morning. He was a member of the community relation branch, and we saying to the family that we know that the Lord gives and the Lord taketh. So find your strength in the Lord so that you can, at this point in time, be comforted with the death of our brother.
That was Stanislaus Albert of the Police Welfare Association. This is the Hot 7 TV Nightly News. Stay with us. There's more after the break.